That was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hi friends, this is Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. It's been a minute, I know. Let's just leave it at that from now on until I get back into my groove, but sometimes I'll do a couple, sometimes I'll be gone for a while, so such is life. Anyway, I woke up wanting to make some really delicious cream cheese Danish, and then I realized I'd never showed you how to make puff pastry. It's not intimidating. Well, no, it is intimidating, but it really shouldn't be. There's only two parts to it, the butter and the flour, the dough, and then the key, the major key to a good flaky puff pastry is waiting. Waiting. This is going to take me about 3 days. It's early in the morning, so 3 days because we're going to be doing folds. Okay, we're going to fold it like a book and then roll it out, and then fold it like a book and then let it rest for about no less than 2 hours. I usually like to go 8. Let's just cut it in the middle and call 6, okay? That's okay. And then we're going to take it out and do it again 3 times. And that's where you're going to get all these beautiful layers. And then when they bake, they're going to be flaky because the butter has set and really developed into the dough and became one, and it's just good stuff. So the first part I'm going to make is the butter, and that needs to sit. While that's sitting, I'll make the dough. That needs to sit also. And when I say sit, I mean in the refrigerator. It needs to chill and get hard. The two pieces have to be about the same texture and temperature when you do this. It can't be too soft and it can't be too hard. So as long as they're both equally about the same, you're good to go. So let's just play.
I'm going to cover a 9 by 13 glass pan with some plastic wrap. This will keep it the shape I want and nice, keep it nice. I'm going to take the butter and the flour, combine it together, smooth. Once that's done, it's going to go into the prepared baking dish just to chill. Cover it flat and spread the plastic on to keep the air out of it.
Okay, now on to the pastry part, the dough. Again, super simple. Just watch. I'm going to use my dough hook. I've got flour, sugar, salt, and cool water. I use it, I put it a little colder than cool, and it works out better for me. Just until it comes together.
So I'm going to mix it together, and then I'm going to scrape the sides just to get all the flour in. After that's done, I'm going to add the vinegar. For my puff pastry, I use Kerrygold butter. It's great butter, and it measures out, so it's perfectly in 1 cup measurements. And I'm going to add some butter into this and continue going.
Okay. We're good here. Came out clean. Just a light dusting of the flour, and then we're going to roll it out. And I'm only going to kind of, not really knead it, I'm just going to bring it together. Well, I guess I am kneading it. Okay, so I've got my butter in a rectangle shape, so I'm going to try to keep this in the same shape. So my butter's going to be this way. I'm going to put this dough in the center of it. So I don't want it to go longer than the butter is wide. going to cover this. And this needs to chill for about an hour or so. So about the time this is coming out, the butter part should be ready, so they'll be equal consistency to take the next step. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll, baby. We've got the butter and the dough pretty even. I actually had to take the butter out because it got too firm. So, and this part is tricky. I'm not going to try to lie to you, but I figured out a way to overcome that trickiness. So if you can buy parchment paper by the roll, they have that in Costco. They have it anywhere. They have it at the Dollar Tree. So get a big sheet of parchment paper, and you're going to roll it out on that. Let's just go do it, and I'll show you.
This next part is it's just messy. I started talking and I cut that out because I wasn't covering the things I really wanted to tell you. So I put parchment paper instead of putting it on the counter because it's butter. There's flour in it. First off, used like 10 times more flour than this. There's flour in the butter that we made, but it is just butter. So trying to work with just butter, it's insane. They never show you this messy part in the videos. I mean, so when you go and you try it, you feel like a complete failure because yours is just so messy. They always cut to the part where it's all done. So continue doing this. A lot of flour. That's going to be your friend. Put another one on top and then roll it out. Even still, it's gonna stick. I'm telling you, it's messy. If you can get past the messy part, you're gonna be a champ with this, and it's so worth it, guys. It's so worth it. So you're gonna take this and roll it out. Did I measure? I didn't measure. I just kind of went to about not quite as big as this parchment paper, and this parchment paper is like a full sheet pan, so it's big.
Now, this is a true French pastry in the sense that this is how they do it in France. So they're going to put it right in the middle. Then we're going to fold this over. I'm telling you, can you imagine not doing this with the parchment? In fact, you know what? I'm going to chill this back up for just a minute, just so that it solidifies again. I just want it to be nice. So I'm going to chill it for 10 minutes. Okay, I had it sitting in there for about 15 minutes. I don't want to get it hard. I just need it to hold its shape. Now, I'm not going to try to lie to you and tell you that this part's not messy. It's messy. If I were to try to lie to you, you'd obviously see, Maria, what are you talking about? I can see it's messy. So let's just not fool each other. So I'm going to take this, get it all covered. I know it's a weird thing to do, but you know, when you got something you got to get done, just do it. All right. So with this, I'm going to get one more sheet. Now I'm going to put a lot of flour. I know, don't let this discourage you though. and a lot of more flour. It's just going to make it so much easier to roll out. But this will be the only time you have to do that, okay? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this because I'm going to be rolling it out. I want it to be longer. All right. So now we just roll it out. And if you need more flour, you get more flour. Don't be afraid to over-flour it. I promise you guys, this will be worth it. This is the part where people would say it's intimidating. But once you knock it off and, you know, knock it out, I mean, and you'll see, okay, it's a little weird. I wouldn't call that intimidating. So I am going to take it close to the size of the parchment, but not necessarily over. And I'm filling it this, so I can see this part right here, it has a little lip to it, so that's going to go out further. And then whatever part is low, that's going to just be remedied. All right, one more bit of flour. And go ahead and be generous with this. I'm gonna roll it out one more time with just the flour. And before I start to fold it, I'm going to dust some flour off. Crazy, right? Just one more bit of rolling. And then just dust. I'm gonna fold this over, and I'm gonna do a book fold. So it's gonna go a quarter of the way. And a quarter of the way. My dogs love to play hard like that. It kills me. More flour. Don't mind them, they are playing. My little dog has no idea that he's a little dog. He's clueless. He goes right up to Nala and just owns her. All right, and then I'm gonna fold it in half, she says. It's these folds that's gonna give you all those layers. And I promise, once the next time we fold it, we won't have to do this. Next time it's going to be very effortless. I need to adjust my plate. And really, really don't worry about over-flouring. I know, looks crazy, right? You just want to make sure it doesn't stick. All right, so I went back to putting it on a parchment paper. I'm not going to kid you and tell you that this part is easy. Not easy. This is the part that would be most intimidating. But I'm telling you, it's only the first time because you've got the butter on the outside. The second time, it's going to be, you're not going to need anything. So give this a try before you give up. And I would really recommend you trying this rather than without it, because you will just get discouraged. I did the very first time I ever made this. I'm thinking, what kind of mess is this? So use this parchment paper. It's really a great tip. And I needed a larger rolling pin. So I'm gonna roll it out. We did one fold. We're gonna do 2 folds, and then we're gonna chill it for, I'd say at least 6 hours. But I think this is probably going to be overnight, only because of the time of the day it is now and other things I've got going. I usually tape this down, and of course I didn't because I'm videotaping. You'd believe most of my mistakes that are really dumb things are done on camera. Like when I'm doing these things and there's no camera and I'm just having a good old time. Yeah, there's not as many goofs. But whatever. Whatever, man. All right. Thank you for your patience. So you're going to use this and feel to make sure it's even. And we're going to do one more book fold. So it's 1/4. Back in the center. And then in here. So this will be it. And I'll keep it in this parchment paper. Crazy, right? All right, this is going to go in the refrigerator. I'm going to say overnight because I already know 6 hours. I'll do 6 hours. That tomorrow I can finish this up. 6 hours in the refrigerator. Because I started so early in the morning, I was able to get 2 folds in. So made it all this morning. Let it sit for 6 hours. Now I get to do the second fold. And then it'll sit, and then tomorrow we're ready to go. This is going to be hard because the butter's got cold. So it's going to take a little oomph. But all good things are worth it, right?
Now it gets fun. Take out the dough. Make sure it's really well floured. It's hard. I'm pounding. This is a big girl pounding on that thing. Wiggle it, just do what you got to do. It will be pliable, and then just start rolling it out. And just keep on going. And this part here is actually quite fun. After all the trouble it gave us earlier, it's nice to have something so beautiful. And it turns out so good. I mean, just from here on out, you can just touch it and feel how nice it is. So I'm keeping it very centered. I'm rolling from the center going out to make it even, turning it often so it doesn't stick, getting tired, and just not stopping. Just keep on going until you finish. You'll be so glad you did this.
Okay, another book fold. This is beautiful. Okay, it gets wrapped up again. And it gets chilled overnight. See you tomorrow. What great things another day has in store. We're ready. It's done. I had to take it out of the refrigerator, let it sit because it is rock hard. It's so hard. It's too hard to work. So let it sit maybe 20 minutes. You're still going to have to work it hard. I mean, this last part is going to take oof and oof and oof. You get it. Let's go. I took it out of the paper. I usually wrap it in plastic wrap. I just didn't. It's okay. But I took it out of the paper because in the past couple of videos you saw how loud it was. It was so loud. In fact, I think I had to delete the voice and talk over. This was yesterday. But yeah, it was just too loud to be bearable. So I took it out. It's a little, I don't know how soft it is, but it's hard. It's hard. Let it sit. Let me see. Yeah, it's just barely giving me these little ripples. It is still too hard. So I wrapped it in plastic so it doesn't dry out. I'm gonna, let's see, it's been 5 minutes. Let me give it another 10 more minutes. Just till it's something I can work with without being, I don't want it pliable. I just want it to be able to hold a roll. All right, it is still cold. I'm still going to roll it, and it's gonna be tough, but I struggle with it than have the butter melt. So I'm going from the inside and working my way out. You can hear the butter popping. All right, so this is going to take elbow grease and a little thyme. But like I said, you want to do this rather than have the butter melt. So let me just speed this up. Now, I get it looked like a hot mess. It's a messy project. But afterwards, you've got those layers and layers of beautiful dough. It's great. So now I'll make my cream cheese Danish like I wanted to. That'll be in the next video. Check it out. This is just kind of tuck this in your library. Give it a try. Know it's going to be a mess. But also know that that parchment paper, deal breaker, absolute deal breaker. When I had taken a pastry class and the chef did this and said, okay, go back and you do it at your stations. Okay, looked easy enough. Every person there struggled with that butter part. I'm going, this can't be right, because I saw her messing up like this too. So, okay, I guess that's how it's done. But the parchment paper is a big deal breaker. So don't be intimidated by it. Give it a try. Worst case scenario, you get some good dough to play with, you know, make things with. It's all still very edible. Very buttery. Very good. Okay, my friends, until next time, happy baking. Okay, I took this down before I wanted to say. So to store it, wrap it really tight with plastic wrap, and you can freeze it. I would freeze it in foil over the plastic wrap, depending on how long I'm going to use it. But I've never frozen it, only because I use it all. It's so good. But that's how you would store it, in the refrigerator, for up to about like 4 days before you use it. Then freeze it if you're going to keep it longer. Okay? Gotcha.